Around here, them guns get the last word.
I've been doing a lot of research, but the Law trailer definitely sped up the process. And now I have a bunch of evidence to point out a few things. One, this is in fact the Roman Colosseum. Two, Claudio is going to be in Tekken 8. Claudio has something major to do with this. I would say this is even his stage. We'll talk about that in a second. Number three, the Mishimazaavatsu also is influencing the design, the architect of this stage very, very heavily. We will also discuss that. But then the fourth thing that I want to talk about is who is possibly in control of the Mishimazaavatsu right now. The first thing that I want to start off with, and I think this is the easiest to prove, big parts of the community already believes this, so I don't think this is like an uphill battle, but this is in fact the Roman Colosseum. First off, a tweet from Galanda perfectly describes it. Paul versus Law set in the Roman Colosseum. It's a huge callback to Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee, the combat scene from the movie Way of the Dragon. But also too, if we just compare some of the architect from what's in the game to real life. One thing that I noticed, and this was very, very strange, is how the top of it is broken. There's even a moment in the trailer where you can see that iconic slope of how it like caved in on one side. You can see the slope in the game and in real life. And also too, I found another image that shows what it would have looked like at the peak of its time. You can see the inside. It really is like this gladiator pit. Down at the bottom you have these statues, these little people along the top. Those people in the game has been replaced with lions and also soldiers to some degree. I could go on and on and on and point out all of the little details, but this is pretty much the Roman Colosseum. That's the easiest thing to explain. Now let's talk about how Claudio is tied to this stage, because Claudio is all over it. The first thing that I talked about, this was in the Law breakdown trailer, was of course the statues. You have this woman holding up, she's like a pillar, she's propping up the roof. This same exact statue, the same exact one, is in Tekken 7 in Claudio's stage. You can see her, two of them once again, left, right, same position, holding up the statue. There's also a big belief that this is the Roman goddess Diana. There's a bunch of theories that this is a representation of Angel and Jun Kazama, but we won't go down that path today. The only thing that I'm trying to identify today is one, the connection between Tekken 8 and also Tekken 7. The same statue, the same stance. Also, this is the same Roman goddess. For those of you who don't believe me that this is Claudio's stage or this is somehow linked to him, there is also flags, banners, and just markings all over the stage. Now, there's one marking that is very similar, once again, to what we see in Claudio's stage. Right above the statue, there is this spiky kind of like design. A very similar design to that is plastered on the front emperor's chair, throne, whatever thing. But also there's other markings here, and Twitter helped me out with this. This is markings of the devil gene. I know when I say the marking of the devil gene, you guys think of the tattoo that's on Jin Kazama's arm. That is a unknown marking. Jin was given that in Tekken 3. The real devil gene marking is what's on his chest. It's what's there when he actually turns into the devil gene, because that marking on his shoulder is there whether he's devil gene or not. And what I did was I compared the tattoo on his chest to the tattoo on this flag, these banners. It's literally the same sort of style. The only thing is the tattoo is curvy. This one is straight. And the reason why this connects to Claudio and let's say not Devil Jin or something like that is because Claudio has many, many books and many, things that document the Devil Gene. He has books of Azazel, books of everything. There's only a few people who know and understand how important this symbol is. And Claudio is definitely a character who would know what this means. But also too, a thing about Claudio is in Tekken 7, he was in the shadows. His organization was not known to the public until Heihachi steps in and he says, hey, we want you a part of the Mishimazaavatsu. Now, this is where the Mishimazaavatsu steps in. First, let's continue with the story of Heihachi. Heihachi wanted Claudio in on the Mishimazaavatsu so he can find Jin, so he can find Kazuya, and then that was it. He really didn't even want help taking him down. He felt he could do it on his own. But in the moment of truth, the time came, he died to Kazuya. Now, he died. We all are wondering what happens to the Mishimazaavatsu. And there's a few things. One, you have Claudio, who is still there. He is still there, just wandering around with Zhao Yu. He and his team of sorcerers can very easily take control. Another thing is, what if Lars comes back? Lars, Lei, Jin, they also have their individual parts of the Mishimazaavatsu. Lee has violet systems, Lars has his faction, I think it's called Yggdrasil, and then Devil Jin, he probably just have built up trust or faith amongst the Mishimazaavatsu from being its leader for so long as well. So that is something that Claudio would have to contest, is, the rightful leaders coming back to take the throne. Another major connection drawing this to the Mishimazaavatsu is the soldiers that is in the front and also the tech that is along the side. Along the side, you see these like red lights that's along the side. It's very reminiscent of like Mishimazaavatsu technology. You just see it all around the side. It's like Mishima tech. We've seen this 1,000 times. Thing that I would say that is a kind of like, it makes me doubt a little bit, is the Mishimazaavatsu soldiers has these bright red eyes, and even from this distance we would be able to make out some of the red. And this one you kind of can, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but this one you can see a little bit of red, but you just can't see the red as prominently as you should be able to. I want to go back to Lars and talk about, is he the one who's controlling the Mishimazaavatsu? And the reason why people think that this possibly could be Lars is the two lions right here. Lions is kind of his symbol, is kind of his motto. But I really want to tie these lines to him because lions is just like Roman culture. These gladiator pits, which this is, they used to have like people fight lions all day, every day. I'm pretty sure behind one of those cages is a lion. That's what the Romans are known for. So I really want to tie that to Lars, but I get where people are coming from. And another reason why I think this is not Lars either working with Claudio or something like that is because Claudio's goals is very different from what Jin, Lars, and Lei wants. This is something we have to realize. Claudio wants to get rid of the Devil Gene. This guy is not playing any of that. He is like, I'm sick of you guys. You guys, one, you took us out of hiding. The public now knows we exist. And then two, you guys are causing havoc. When I catch you, I'm going to take the Devil Gene from you and you're done for, right? So they really aren't going to work with one another unless something drastic changes, like, maybe Kazuya does something. But everything we've been shown in Tekken 7, Claudio does not like them. He does not like them in the slightest. And this stage can only be one. It can be Claudio's or it can be the Mishimazaavatsu. It cannot be both. And something else that I want to talk about too, right? If we're saying that this is Claudio's arena, another huge question you have to ask, is this the King of the Iron Fist tournament? If it is the King of the Iron Fist tournament, why is it being held in the Colosseum for Claudio? And there's a few reasons this could be. The King of the Iron Fist takes place all over the world. They fight in jungles, they fight in arenas, they fight everywhere. Rooftops, alleyways, there is no one location. In Tekken 7, Claudio was one of the few characters who had a stage, besides one of the Mishimas, right? The Mishima Dojo, G Corporation Helipad. I know you could tie like maybe Kinder Gym to Lucky Chloe. You can tie the Middle Eastern stage to Shahid, but through the game, through the lore, Claudio's stage is the only one that specifically says this is Claudio's. All the other ones are just maybe references or hints or maybe Easter eggs. None of them is confirmed besides Claudio's stage. That shows how embedded into Tekken he is now.